the feeling of Mickey Mouse. Hello everyone, my name is Mahian, and today we're going to be talking about the feeling of Mickey Mouse. More specifically, the actual feeling of the character of Mickey Mouse. Steamboat Willie was released back in November 18, 1928. This was the first public release for the character, and I feel it's very important to look back at what Mickey Mouse essentially represented himself, and how he represented himself through that short film. Because I feel like a lot of that we see of him in the short film has since very much been influential to his character throughout the years. Mickey Mouse is now over 100 years old, just like the Disney company itself, and actually recently became a public domain. So we're going to be looking over Steamboat Willie only, because I feel like this is the most important thing to consider when we're looking at the feeling of Mickey Mouse. So we're going to be looking at three key subjects when it comes to this short film: the setting, emotion, and my favorite is actually the animation, because I am a huge animation fan. So I think that's pretty obvious from the fact that I'm already very excited to talk about Mickey Mouse. It's so appealing because I feel like Mickey Mouse is, it's simply, you look at him and you just he seems like such a nice, like very, very nice and charming. So first, the setting. It takes place on a river in the country. You can notice the background is actually quite simple, because the focus is on the characters, on the actual surroundings like the boat and the docks. The boat and the docks do have its own setting as well, has a lot more detail, but the background itself is quite simple, because those are the key takeaways for when you see the short film on screen, because it takes place on the boat and the docks for momentarily. The key part to take away from this animation is that it cared most about the character expressions. The visuals help complement the characters by keeping it nice and simple, so our attention can be on them. The film takes place mostly on the boat, so that's what we see most of. That might obviously seem like a simple point to most, but it's important to remember, because when you establish a setting, it's very important that it feels consistent. The boat's interior should look and feel the same every scene you see it in. The setting is quite simple for the most part for the short film, as it needed to be to serve as a baseline for the actual character dramas that's going on. Now let's talk about the emotion. One thing I've learned about animation is that regardless of whether you know the character or not, you can tell exactly how they feel based on how they're designed, and that is no exception for Mickey Mouse. When they are sad, happy, crying, or laughing, you can just tell with just one look. That is important for emotions because it helps animation stand out even more compared to other mediums. The emotions here are easy for everyone to understand because the animators added so much expressiveness to them. So one thing I will be pointing out is, like, for example, the boat whistles. You can just tell the boat whistles have their own personalities because they drew little, like, smiley faces on them. That is already giving itself personality to whistles, even though whistles are inanimate objects. You can already sense a bit of emotion through that. Mickey dancing is another thing to look at. When you look at the first few scenes of Mickey in the short film, it's him dancing. That immediately tells you that he is a very optimistic, very charming person, always looking to the bright side of things. That's important when you're conveying a character, when you're showing a character for the first time. And then when you take a look at Pete has this kind of tough guy stance. That immediately conveys you the feeling that he's kind of like the bully, and he doesn't like, for example, Mickey. He's kind of mean to everyone. He conveys that through his tough guy stance, you can see. So finally, we're going to be looking at the animation. This is my favorite part, as I said before, to talk about, because even when you see the first few seconds of the short film, you'll understand that it is very much its own world. It's fantasy, like I said. It's fiction. It's all, very much written to be its own world, its own universe. And animation, I think more than anything, is such a great complement to establishing, something that is just coming from the imagination. The artists working and the animators working behind this film very much utilize the tool of animation to express themselves through both the story and the narrative of the film, and specifically the animation. Everything, even the inanimate objects, like I said before, have their own personality to it, and that's important because it allows you to just feel its own world. I think that's also important for artists to just be able to express themselves even more with animation, because animation is a lot more, it's a lot more versatile. It allows you to play more around with the world building. So first we have Pete eating. And like I said before, he keeps eating and then he kind of spits out the food, which hits the bell, which itself is very silly, you know. But ultimately, that is the charm of it. It's simply trying to be funny, having some creativity to the already kind of fictional world we're seeing. So the second thing is Mickey spinning the goat's tail to play the guitar music. When the goat eats the guitar, Mickey decides, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna spin his tail, and then the music just comes out of his mouth. Yet it works. It already is adding to the already fictional world of Steamboat Willie and Mickey Mouse itself. And also it complements Mickey Mouse as well. It shows kind of the silliness that Mickey Mouse has, yet he's so smiley and charmy throughout the moment as well, and that's important. It's once again emphasizing that his character is all about just, you know, having fun and just always looking to the bright side of things. All these three subjects that I've talked about in this video are just only the tip of the iceberg. There's so many other things that make the film great. All the additions of the characters and all the little details and little emotions they put out, like there's so much to talk about. We can talk about so much because the short film itself is it's very short. It's a short film, you know, so you can only show what you can in a shorter period of time. You have limited time, so ultimately it made use of that time. It made use of the material it had and with its characters and tried fitting it all together to create one story. So when it comes to Mickey Mouse, the thing we take away from Mickey Mouse itself is that Mickey Mouse complements all the three things I talked about before. Mickey Mouse essentially fits so well into the setting because the setting itself is already very, very fictional. It's very energetic and very expressive and a bit silliness as well. And then when it comes to the emotion, Mickey Mouse is very optimistic, very happy around his environment. He's always looking to the bright side of things. And obviously you do see him going through a lot of back and forth between the characters as well, and also going through a bit of trial and error. That adds more to the relatability to Mickey Mouse. That makes you like him more because he's going through some struggle as well throughout the story. And then the animation is so important to him. When you're designing a character that's so optimistic and happy, you need to make sure that you show him being happy and whatever he does to the animation. For example, when he's at the beginning of the short film, when he was dancing while he was driving the boat as well, all these things are just simple, like they're very simple at first hand, but they add so much to just convey exactly how the character is and his personality without using any dialogue whatsoever. There is no dialogue in this whole film, and in my opinion, I think it's the best thing ever that they didn't add dialogue for us to see more of a creative experience with it. So ultimately, when we look at Mickey Mouse himself, how it translates to modern day is that he's still this optimistic mouse that always looks towards the bright side of things, and we always kind of see that quirkiness when it comes to the world of Mickey Mouse, into how he's always solves problems and how he always struggles through problems as well, and also with how he interacts with the other characters. He's always so happy and trying to help as many people as possible, because I mean, let's be honest, life is sometimes very struggling, so when we see someone just always looking to the bright side of things, it makes us feel the same. It makes us connect to him more. So thank you for watching, and I hope to make more videos like this. Please let me know if any mistakes. I'm always looking to improve it. I'm always looking forward to what's happening next, and thank you for the support, and have a great day. Goodbye.